Hi, this is Mohsen from Facebook, and in this video, I'll be walking through how do you set up Facebook Pixel, along with all the basic events and the events needed for dynamic ads such as view content, add to cart, and purchase. So this is a very basic online store that I have right now. It sells drinks, snacks, and clothes. So my first focus here would be to install Facebook Base Pixel. What I can do is I can go to my Ads Manager and go to the Pixels tab. There, I can see a Set a Pixel tab. You click on it and it shows you an option of integration or copy and paste code. So right now we have about 6 deep integrations with some of the partners. If you use any of these platforms, we highly recommend that you use our integration to install your Pixel. But if not, we can always copy and paste code in the website manually. So the first step is to copy the code, which is the Facebook Pixel base code, and insert it in the header of your website. So I'm using Weebly to construct this website. You can use whatever your website backend is. Here, I would just look for the options where I can insert code in the header. And here's an option where I can insert the header and save it and publish it. So how do I check if my website has a Facebook Pixel or not? So we have a plugin which is known as Facebook Pixel Helper, and I've already added it to my Chrome. So it says that there's a page view pixel, and this is essentially all you need to set up a very basic page Facebook pixel. So let's say I click on the buy drinks page and I land here. Right now it's just sending a single page view pixel event. It needs to be sending a view content event as well. So going back to the guide we were following, we already did step 1, which was to install the Facebook pixel base code. Now we click on next, and it shows you 9 standard events. For our context, since we are setting up dynamic ads, we need view content. So we copy this event and go back to the backend on the drinks page. We'd insert this code and modify its parameters so that it sends back the parameters that you require. So copying this code, it says 3.5 in the value, but we would want it to be wanted to reflect the value of our product, which is 10 in this case. We would need to pass back a couple of other parameters, which is content ID is one of them, content underscore IDs. And this needs to pass back the ID of the particular product, which corresponds to the exact ID for this product that you uploaded in the product catalog. If you don't know how to upload a product catalog, you can see in another video details on how to do that. But it's very important that the product ID that you send back from here match exactly the product IDs. Otherwise, we won't be able to match the signal, the pixel events. And as a result, you would see low delivery on your audience. So for this product, let's say its ID was 903, and these IDs need to be passed back in an array of strings. So, and content type is for now product. So it has two options. It can be either a product or a product group. Product means that you are sending back signal for this specific product. If it were a product group, that means you want to send back a signal for a group of products, and we'll see later on how that works out. So let's publish the tag and see if this works correctly or not. Let's refresh the drinks page. And we see now we have 2 events, but one of them has a warning, which we just set up. So it says they can't match products. It's probably because the content ID we sent back didn't match. So what you can do is you can go to your product catalog and see what is the exact product ID. So we have 3 products here which correspond to the products on our web page. And since this is the soda product, we would see that its ID is 345, not the one we sent back. So we'd go back and modify the code, and I just need to change the product ID and it should work. Note that I'm hard coding this code for this particular product, but in general, you should be using variables on your website so that you don't have to set up different pixel code for each of the products you have, and it's more dynamic. So if I publish this and reload the page, you'd see that the product is now showing the correct IDs, and there are no pixel helper warnings. Now that we have view content pixel set up, next step would be to set up add to cart event. And for that, let's go back to the add to cart page so that we can insert code for it. So the code would look very similar to what it was for our view content. Similar to that, we would have to insert content type, which is again product, followed by content IDs. So now I'll show you an example of how you can use a dynamic in nature. So my cart can have different products, so I cannot hardcode here. What I can do is I have in my session storage, I have the content IDs. You can use whatever variables or whatever you want to store that information and pass that back as a parameter. So since I have that in session storage, I would use session storage.get item, and my content IDs are in a variable in a key called content IDs, and my value here is I want to pass back the value of the cart as in the sum of the cards. So for that as well, I'll get it off from my storage. And the key for that I have is total value. Again, this could be totally different for how you set up your website, but this needs to be dynamic so you can capture all the products in the cart. Updating it and seeing if it works. So let's go through the flow again. Somebody lands, they go to buy drink, you see a view content, they add it to the cart. Now they have a cart, they have a soda, and the cart would have content ID 345 and its product. Now let's say you want to add some more snacks, you add this to cart as well, and now your total should be 25 and you should have a couple of content IDs. Yeah, that's right here. So you have these, you have the value. Just to make sure that your setup is correct, you would want to copy this content ID, go back to your product page on Facebook catalog and see does this correspond to the exact product that you wanted it to be or not. And in this case, it's chips. That's the later product that we added. And the other ID that was showing up was 345. Let's also look that up. And that's the soda. That's in the card. So it's always good to verify that your pixel setup is correct using these two mechanisms. Now that you know how to set up dynamic ads, let's show you how to debug if anything goes wrong with your dynamic ad setup. So let's assume our setup has been running for a while now, and just last week somebody did some implementation on our team so that we could retarget people. If anybody lands on a soda page, we would retarget them with soda as well as snacks. So they did some pixel implementation changes, and we have been seeing under delivery of our dynamic ads. So let's explore what might be going on here. So there's a great resource on self-debugging on dynamic ads, which is this diagnostic tab under your product catalog. So it would show you all sorts of different issues. Some of them would be must fix, which are absolute must for in order to dynamic ads to run, and some would be warnings. So if I just closely look on one of them here, it's missing content type from purchase event. So that's super critical. I need to fix that. But there's something wrong with our view content event, which was working fine as of our last correct implementation. So what I would do is I would go under this product events tab. So here you would be able to see a chart on what percentage of pixel files have been matched. So since April 3rd, you would see that the pixel match rate is around 90%, and we know it was correct before that. It was 100%. So we'll try to explore why is that. So under this tab here, you'd see view samples, and if you check that, you'd be shown different samples. And right now, I'm seeing this pixel event which fired from solangetest.com/drinks, and the product ID was 123, but this product was not in the catalog. So let's go to this page and see what's going on there. So if I come to this page, I would see there is a view content being fired, but there's also the same error from Pixel Helper that the product IDs can't be matched, and the product ID being sent back is 123. So let's go into our products and see what product is this 123, and does this match to our soda product or not. So for products, you can go to product sets, and you can go into, let's see. Oh, So fees is a better choice, and then you can view all your products from here. So opening up Soda again, it says the ID is 345, but the item group ID is 123, and so that should have been matched, intuitively thinking. But let's also see for chips what's going on here. So the product ID is 896 and the item group ID is 123. So that tells us that group IDs are 123 for both of them. So, and product IDs as an individual product IDs are different. So what happened here was that in the pixel code, we sent content type as product, but the ID was sent as product ID. So ideally, in the correct setup, the content type should have been sent as product underscore group, and that would have prompted Facebook system to interpret this ID as a group ID, not a particular product ID. So if you fix that, this issue would be fixed. And in this code implementation, Epic, if somebody visits Epic Soda page, they would also be retargeted with Chips page as well, because they, both of them have the same group ID. Back to the implementation, let's see what code we had at Epic Soda. It was content IDs 1 to 3 and product content type as product. So there are two sets of implementation. One is that you send back the particular product ID, which is 345, and the identifier as product, or you send 123, which was the group ID, and you send product underscore group. Sorry about that. And we change this implementation and just double checking if this works or not. So view content has been loaded. So this is another set of implementation that works, but it targets the group rather than the particular product. So hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any other queries about the Pixel Helper or issues with your dynamic ads, you can go to our developer.facebook.com, which has extensive documentation on all these.